these are, I love these things. And like you were saying before, the used ones are incredibly scarce, and I've seen people send these off to PSC to get graded. So thank you so much for bringing your collection in. I'm Michael Cortese.
Michael Lancet.
Nice to meet you. So you said you had 10 volumes, and these are just the first.
Correct.
Or most important.
This is the first album, U.S., and it was a collection that my grandmother started.
Okay.
That my dad had, and when I got a hold of it, it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So what I did was I tried to keep a lot of the pages that my grandmother had started.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded everything, and I went back through things that were hinged. I was fortunate to work with a dealer. I was able to get mint never hinged stamps.
So really,
and I started to put everything in mounts.
Yeah.
And I use mounts for everything, even if it's a used. So we go back. This is all just for basically informative stuff here. But then this is where things start
picking up.
I have 1 and 2.
Yeah.
These are just the facsimiles. Right. And, in here is a lot of stuff that I don't really have I put it in here to give it a home because I just don't want it in a box somewhere.
Right.
So, there's a lot of a few covers and that kind of stuff. I do have some certs for a few items.
Now, did you send these items out yourself?
I did not. I bought these. This is, I believe, 78.
Yeah, 78.
Yeah. And like I said, I have some duplicates of stuff here.
So, I mean, it's a terrific example of a multi-generational collection that's hearing you expand upon your grandmother's vision for the collection, upgrading individual items and everything is, it's quite terrific.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody. I have one daughter.
Yeah.
And my nephews from my other brothers and sisters, nobody's interested in this.
Okay.
So sooner or later,
yeah,
it's going to end up, and I've seen too many collections just
right.
People, I want it out of the house. Give me what you want, kind of thing, and you're
just disappear into the dust.
Yeah. And I don't want that to happen to this because of.
Do you live around here?
I live in Essex Junction.
Oh, okay. We were just there yesterday.
Okay.
We're going there tomorrow.
Okay.
Terrific.
And some of these are used, but they're clean examples.
So what are your annotations here?
That's where I've checked for the watermarks.
Okay.
And the Colombians.
Colombian Expo, yeah.
This is mint never hand, mint light. These are all clean copies. And then, it continues here. And a lot of these, the color variations. I have a cigar box back home with a ton that's jammed with Washington Reds that I want to go through someday. But I just have not.
Daunting task sometimes.
I'm a woodworker too, so I have to, where do I want to go?
Yeah.
Now these are the Trans-Mississippis, and again, they're very nice examples. And I was fortunate to get the Cattle and Storm based on. I gave a presentation on that at a club a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. What's revered is that one of America's most beautiful stamps.
This is a real nice.
Yeah.
I think it's light hinged, but it's this. Be honest with you, this was gifted to me.
Really, that's terrific. And, what a gift.
Yes, it was. And there's a cert on this guy.
Yeah. Terrific. Well, if you don't mind, I'd love to talk about this book a little bit too, because this is a great example of modern collecting, where you have collectors who have been collectors for so long, and it's difficult for the post office to now issue stamps that collectors feel really compelled to purchase. So they've gone and they've issued these imperfs for every single sheet that they're now issuing. And they've become incredibly scarce, really hard to get, and and just really popular because once they're sold out, they're sold out.
And some of these paints, they don't. They may issue 500.
Yeah.
And whereas the others, there's 5,000 or something. So like I think it's the Raven Story, the Sun Science, Heritage Breeds. There's a few later ones that are very pricey.
Very, very pricey. And as I was mentioning, people get these graded. The used ones are incredibly scarce.
Is this a good way to protect this?
It would be.
Okay. I know it's not on hardboard and.
No, I know, but it's a decent way because what's not going to happen here is you're not going to go in and nick the size or anything. You really want to make sure that no damage comes to the edges. Okay. Kind of just like in trading cards or anything like that. Any nicks to the edges really deteriorate the value. Right. So, these people purchase them individually. So did you buy all these yourself from the USPS?
Yes, initially, I befriended a person that bought the press sheets.
Okay.
And I was able to get a pane from him for the early ones.
Right.
And then there was a gap, 2-3 years, something. Okay. And then he stopped doing that, so I found another person that I'm able to get them from.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And he emails me a couple weeks before. He says, "You up for the next issue?" I says, "Yeah." And I pay him PayPal, and after it gets issued, a week later, I get the sheet. So it works pretty good.
So where are you buying the used ones from?
I get mail, like the guy who sends me the Imperf sheets. Sometimes he'll slap on.
Really?
An Imperf because he does the cross gutters and stuff, and they have a couple extras, so he just sticks them on.
Okay, that's terrific.
I recently got a hold of this. This was quite pricey.
In the collection I was talking about that we sold recently, it didn't actually have one of those. Yeah, it had the flower booklet, but they were the counterfeits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because it's so difficult to distinguish some of these.
Okay.
It's so
Do they counterfeit everything?
They do. They do. And the only way to make sure that you're not buying the counterfeits is to either buy from a reputable dealer or do exactly what you're doing, which is buy from USPS or someone who is buying from USPS. Because obviously USPS isn't going to send you counterfeits, but that's one way to guarantee that everything you have in this book is absolutely genuine because you've got a contact who's been sending you the USPS. Imperf paints. This is terrific. Thank you so much for sharing your collection with us today.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.